Pilates exercise is one of the best types of exercise for women over 40 who are dealing with any kind of pelvic floor condition. If you have incontinence or pelvic organ prolapse and you want to help your pelvic floor health, these symptoms can be very embarrassing and frustrating. And for women who have not explored a more holistic option by doing Pilates-based exercise, it can be truly very valuable and helpful for overcoming these conditions and helping your symptoms. My name is Dr. Dawn Andalone. I'm a pelvic floor specialist, women's health physical therapist, and behind me you'll see I have my own Pilates studio, and I highly believe in Pilates as a healing method to help more women with pelvic floor conditions. So pelvic floor conditions like bladder incontinence or prolapse, they can come often between the ages of 40 and 60, and we see an increased prevalence. When you're going through perimenopause to menopause and your hormones are shifting, this also can impact your muscle tone in your vaginal area and therefore cause weakness and even prolapse of the pelvic organs pressing against the vaginal wall and even prolapsing, where you might get some pressure or heaviness in the vaginal area. Even seeing a bulge in that vaginal area can be scary and frustrating. But there are ways that you can help a prolapse symptoms and also heal your body without necessarily having surgery. Now, bladder incontinence, we're talking about stress incontinence or urge incontinence. Stress incontinence means when you cough, sneeze, run, or jump, you start leaking, and your pelvic floor muscles can't work in time with the extra pressure or load you put down on your pelvic floor muscles. Next, urge incontinence. If you feel like you're running to the bathroom all the time or getting the urge, it's training the brain to connect to your muscles, how to work properly. And therefore, that can be helped with Pilates-based exercise because you're going to be slowing down the movements, focusing on breathing. And I want to go through some of those principles on how Pilates can actually help heal those conditions. Now, Pilates exercise is great for alignment and posture. And many women think of it as a way to tone their midsection and help get more fit. But it has very healing properties and therapeutic realm. If you're taking Pilates with a physical therapist, they're going to be able to address your concerns by taking you through movements that are fun and creative and challenging at times, but can also be very healing and helpful for your pelvic floor muscles. Now, by working these muscles with Pilates-based exercise, you can work on strengthening through your pelvic floor and your core, eliminating bladder leaks, helping bladder control and those embarrassing accidents. You can also help support your pelvic organs, so therefore easing some of the symptoms of prolapse. You can increase your core stability and support, which also helps your pelvic floor health for the long run. And you can also increase your body awareness, which is slowing down some of the movements. So you're really getting your brain to connect to your muscles. And therefore, that goes a long way when it comes to your pelvic floor health down the road in your 60s, 70s, 80s, and beyond. You want to be aware of that area. And so many of the women that I see don't even know if they're squeezing or they're releasing their pelvic floor. They're not in connection with what their brain is actually doing with their body. So Pilates-based exercise can help you get better at that, so you can actually be more aware and learn more about your body and about controlling that area of your body, so it can empower you to help your body heal. So with the principles of Pilates and how this goes hand in hand with pelvic floor conditions is, number one, core engagement. If you are forced to use those muscles and activate them with specific exercises like doing bridging exercises, pelvic tilts, plank related movements, anything that's working the midsection of the core, you're going to help the strength and stability of those muscles that support your pelvic organs. Next is precision and control, which is a big part of Pilates exercise. So it's making you really be precise with your movements and also paying attention to where your body is, what it's doing. So you're actually thinking about your movements more consciously, which carries over into your daily life. So certain activities, you'll notice you're standing taller, you're holding your posture differently, and it really has that carryover into your daily life and your activities. Next is alignment and posture. And why is this important? Well, your pelvic floor muscles, they oftentimes can have extra stress or pressure we're putting down on our pelvic floor when our body is in a bad posture. And so in Pilates, we talk a lot about lengthening our spine or getting our ribs away from our pelvis. So really getting that length in your posture also takes extra pressure off your pelvic organs and off of the pelvic floor area, which helps those muscles work more efficiently, effectively, and also helps your breathing. And therefore, it can calm your nervous system and overall help the whole health of really that midsection of your body, and has carryover into how you're sitting in the car, how you're standing in the grocery store, how you're doing your activities around the house, and when your bladder control problem is not being helped by having more pressure and not using those muscles efficiently, Pilates can have that carryover into taking that stress and pressure off of your pelvic floor. And then finally, breathing exercises. One of the biggest things that I love to teach are how to actually think consciously about your breathing. We tend to breathe from our neck and shoulders and up here, creating extra stress or tension in your neck and your back. But your breathing should come from your rib cage and down into your abdominal area. And slowing your breathing down can really help you activate your muscles through your core and midsection, get everything stronger and more stable. And therefore, breathing also helps your pelvic floor function because it has to release on your inhale, and then on your exhale, it has to recoil. And so if you're setting your body up for success by slowing down your breathing and learning proper breathing strategies, this also will help support your pelvic organs and help your pelvic floor even function properly. So remember, Pilates exercise can be very beneficial, but done consistently over time, it is extremely helpful for women with incontinence and prolapse symptoms. Now, I have a program called Pelvic Floor Pilates, Tone Your Midsection, Relieve Back Pain, and Conquer Incontinence in just 15 minutes a day, as I find that women don't want to do a lot of this exercise because it does take up time. What if you had a routine to follow for just 15 minutes a day that was effective, and from a pelvic floor physical therapist that knows how to cue and teach you the proper things for your pelvic floor health and wellness? Well, the link is below. You can go check that out. But if you have not done Pilates before, I highly recommend that you get started with doing some simple mat-related exercises that help teach you the proper breathing strategies, the principles of Pilates with core alignment and strength through your midsection. And go back and watch some of those other videos that I have on my channel regards to incontinence or prolapse to help guide you through some of my favorite exercises. So check out the program, Pelvic Floor Pilates. And I thank you so much for watching. I want to empower you and make you feel confident about your body. And that's the purpose of these videos. So I appreciate you watching, and we'll see you again in another video.